Good morning. It is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. A serious life-threatening Arctic outbreak is coming to the United States by the middle of this week into the end of the week, impacting much of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. We're talking about some of the coldest temperatures ever on record for the month of December for some locations. So brace yourself with what you're about to see in today's update as far as wind chills go and how cold will it get for your location. First of all, though, here's a look at the current satellite imagery for the entire United States. And as we can see clearly, big time rainfall and flooding is impacting the Pacific Northwest. There are a lot of flood advisories, flash flood watches, flash flood warnings going on in those areas. So my thoughts and prayers do go out to those people that are having to deal with this big atmospheric river that is on its way in for the next few days here in Oregon and Washington. However, back in California, nice and dry with that Tule fog that has caused a lot of problems. Some accidents have resulted from that Tule fog, but otherwise nice and quiet in the desert Southwest and California. And then, of course, a lot of locations are getting prepped for what will be a historic Arctic outbreak by the middle of this week in the Great Lakes region. But right now, looking at some cloudy skies, a little bit of snow falling across the Michigan region as well as Wisconsin, but nothing compared to with what you're about to deal with by the middle of this week with those very cold, bittery temperatures. Now, before I do show you all the wind chill forecast, because that's going to be the biggest impact with this event, along to go with your actual air temperatures and temperature anomalies, let's take a look at who's going to get snow with this Arctic outbreak and who's going to miss out on all of it. So looking at the European model here, and this is the latest, very latest 0Z Euro model for your Sunday morning. And we can see with what the model is indicating here, there's a little bit of snow again falling across Michigan and much of the northern tier here of Indiana, getting a little bit of that snow for this morning. So, yep, another little bit of a powdery lawn in your guys' areas. But otherwise, that system is going to lose its steam as it goes further east here. And you can see not really a whole lot of it is remaining across New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, because this Arctic high is going to bring a lot of drier, colder air with it before there's a little bit of a reprieve. Then another big Arctic outbreak is coming after this. And now in between those Arctic highs, though, there will be some weather systems that go on by and produce a little bit of snow and rainfall wherever it's warmer. Okay, so let's go into Monday morning here for your morning commute. Looks nice and dry, although cold. So bundle up, buttercups out there if you are traveling from point A to point B for your morning commute. Washington and Oregon, you're not done seeing more rain. You're dealing with a little bit of it right now, or quite a bit of it, I should say, and then there is more on the way. This one, though, looks to be very substantial, especially for Monday morning into Tuesday morning. This one could cause life-threatening flooding for northern Oregon and much of Washington. I mean, look at all that yellow on your screen. That is indicating that there's going to be moderate to heavy rainfall with rainfall rates up to maybe 3/4 of an inch an hour at times with high elevation snow, telling us this is going to be a very warm storm system. And warm storm systems are not good snow producers for the Cascade Range there of Oregon and Washington. Montana as well as Idaho, you're getting a little bit of rain and snow, but strong winds will result from that system because of the westerlies that come along with these systems. And then, of course, when we take a look here at the model for Monday night into Tuesday, a little bit of an Alberta clipper here impacting Wisconsin as well as Michigan. So that's another system to keep an eye on for if you're flying back east or going into Michigan. Just keep that in mind. A little bit of snowfall could make your flights delayed. And then out ahead of that, well, there's going to be, or behind that, I should say, another bigger Alberta clipper is headed on down. And this is going to be the big change that this system is going to bring with it. And here's why. As this travels pretty much to the southeast into the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region, this will be for Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. By the way, that pressure is down a lot, down to 985 millibars. This is going to be a big wind producer storm because of the thermal gradient winds that it has with it. But pay attention up here. Big Arctic high is going to settle in behind this system, and this is going to result in some really cold temperatures with that system, but it's only going to get worse. As we go forward, nice and dry conditions in the wake of that system, and then another system here, and boy, this Arctic high here, 1,051 millibars, that is a very dense cold air mass, and I'm telling you, wait until you see the temperatures. They are not looking good at all. They are looking quite concerning for a lot of locations in the northern plains, including for Montana. And of course, cold air is dense, so it raises your atmospheric pressure. So that's kind of where we have the cold air. And yeah, pretty cool to see here, but also quite deadly if it's not taken seriously. So as we go into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here, big Arctic high settles in. You can see where the colder air is, gets reinforced by another Arctic high coming out of Canada. And then maybe after that, a big pattern change. But I keep saying that there's going to be a pattern change by the middle of December, but it keeps getting pushed back. That's what happens when you get this whole chaos theory in the stratospheric polar vortex where it's really weak. A lot of these a lot of the upper level patterns are really hard to predict very far out, and things could end up being a standing wave. Even so, the models show, lots of rainfall and snowfall for the west, colder temperatures and much warmer temperatures for the east eventually. Don't wrap your head around that too much, all right? We just don't know because it is too far out, and it's extra uncertain because of the pattern that we're in, okay? So now let's take a look at those temperatures because this is going to be serious. The snow, forget about it. I'm not worried about how much snow you're going to get. I'm really worried about how cold it's going to get for your location. Okay, so let's take a look here at your surface air temperature forecast here. And this is for Monday morning. Temperatures are going to be cold here, right? We got single digits around Wisconsin, Iowa, northern Indiana, as cold as 2 degrees for your Monday morning. So really bundle up. Actually, going to be a little colder than that, especially right before sunrise. -2, maybe 0 degrees. Indianapolis, they're at 15 degrees. This is nothing. Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. This is nothing compared to with what's going to be coming by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week, okay? So let's fast forward, right? Nice good little reprieve here. Temperatures back in the 30s and 40s, and you're like, breathe in the warmer air, folks, because, yeah, once it gets cold, you won't want to be outside at all. Because here comes the next Arctic air mass here for Wednesday into Thursday. That's going to be pretty darn cold here, mainly impacting Minnesota as well as Wisconsin, -10 to -15 degree temperatures. Indiana, not so much. We're looking at temperatures in the 20s there, maybe getting a little colder for northern Indiana. But it's this big old fat guy back here in Alberta, British, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Canada. This is the one that's going to cause the big concern. We're talking all-time record low temperatures, folks. I'm being serious. I really am. This one needs to be taken quite with big seriousness. So by Saturday morning, temperatures -3, we got -9, -10, then we got -20 degree temperatures here, possibly getting close to -30 degrees for your Saturday morning on the 13th day of December, and it gets colder. Look at this, okay? Single digits for Indiana, for Ohio. These are not your wind chills, by the way. -24, -25, -30 in some areas. And then look at this. For December 14th, Sunday morning, for Indiana here, it's about -10 degrees. We've got -14 degrees in northern Illinois. Yeah, this is a type of cold that really can actually kill people, can kill livestock, can kill animals. Please, okay? And then that goes out, and everyone says, finally, it looks like a big warm-up is coming. But for me, as a forecaster, I'm looking at this, I'm like, yeah, so what? Because if we look at the 12Z run, Yeah. Yeah. 12Z run showed a different story. Yeah. 5 degrees there in Indiana. The 12Z run from this morning, -12. If we look at the previous run, very warm, 53 degrees. This would be a good pattern for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. So it's going back and forth here between extreme cold and not so much, right? So that means there's a lot of uncertainty in the modeling. And if not, let's actually look at the GFS really quick so we can move on. GFS. Yeah, see pretty much the same thing at around that time frame. This would be for, by the way, the 18th day of December. So it's warm here even for the upper Midwest. So if we go back to the 06Z run, way back in time, yeah, it's not as cold. So there is some confidence that looks like things might change by maybe the 15th and beyond. Well, it's a slim chance, but just consider that it's going to be cold for much of this work week. So let's take a look here at the wind chills, okay? And basically, this is how cold it will feel like outside because of the wind that's going to be whipping around. So as we go forward here, your wind chill factors, pretty deadly, not pretty. -30, -20 degree temperatures, -19 degrees in Indiana and parts of Indiana, that is. And that's just the first one. The second one comes through, and this again is for Friday, Saturday. Oh, wait. Is this the right one? Am I on the right model? I am on the right model. Am I missing something? Maybe I am. Okay, okay, I skipped right over it. All right, so this is... Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay, yeah, I was on it the whole time. I just skipped through it. Sorry, folks. -30, -40 degrees. That's how cold it could feel outside. This, again, is pretty darn serious for the time of the year that it's worth. I mean, this is mid-December, not mid-January, not mid-February. Yeah, this is bad. Okay, this is bad. And then, of course, you saw a spoiler alert there. Temperatures might rebound a little bit when it comes to the wind chill forecast. Now, let's go through this really quickly. The temperature anomaly forecast, definitely below average temperatures, and this is going to continue. Here is the big daddy right here for Friday into Saturday. Temperatures between about 30 to 40 degrees below average. I mean, that is straight up seriousness here. 35 to even almost 40 degrees below average in Chicago. As we go into the following weekend here, this would be for the 14th through the 17th of December, where it is extremely cold. And then again, maybe that warm up towards the end of the model run. But of course, this is in the land of hope and dreams, as what Mark Finan would say. He's a former meteorologist from KCRA3. The land of hope and dreams, we should say here on this model, because yeah, you just saw what you know what I'm talking about when it comes to uncertainty in the forecast. There's just a lot this far out, so don't think that, oh yes, it's gonna warm up, David, yay. No, don't get too comfortable. We're not there yet. But anyways, if you did find this weather forecast very helpful, informative, life-saving, and detailed, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, folks. It really, really means a lot, because I'm telling you, folks, I'm sounding the alarm here. This Arctic air mass coming in by the middle to the second half of this week is going to be very serious. I would not be surprised if the National Weather Service in your neighborhood issues an extreme cold warning or an extreme cold watch because of how cold it's going to get, especially on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, very serious. And I really pray to the Lord that you guys can stay warm in all of this, because this is going to cause a lot of problems. But otherwise, I'll be back with you more tomorrow morning on your Monday with another update on this big Arctic air mass.